I'd like to introduce somebody who's a good friend who is also given very interesting kind of perspective on life. See, I'm standing here thinking to myself, am I dressed well? How do I smell right now? Am I using my language the right way? Am I being rude to anyone? And that's because our friend Israa is an etiquette coach. So stand up straight, sit up straight, Mr. Dinshaw. Foot down, please. And please welcome Israa. She's going to tell us how she got into that.
Okay, so thank you all for coming today. I'm gonna do this as casual as possible. I'm usually more formal, giving yes and no's here and there, do's and don'ts. But today, I'm gonna talk to you about something different. We're gonna get to my origin story in a bit, but all what I want from you is that to think about or to imagine a little girl back in the 90s living in Abu Dhabi, the eldest daughter to two Palestinian nice people, my mom and dad, Palestinian couple. I was the eldest daughter back then. And my parents have been living in the UAE since the early 80s. So if you've been around for more than like 25 to 30 years, you know how things were. It was a different life, things were less complicated, less diverse. And to raise a family or to start a family and raise your kids in such an environment was very different for them. Why I'm telling you about my parents? Because I want to tell you how it all started. Like becoming an etiquette and protocol expert or coach or trainer started way before than I thought. I didn't know that this is where I'm gonna be or this is what I'm gonna choose until later on when things happened. I started to look back at those days, at the 90s and at the late 90s, how things were, how my mom raised me up. I want you to imagine that little girl being raised in a family where etiquette wasn't only how we live, it was actually embedded in each and everything we do. And if we all look back at those days when we were children, you'll figure out that most of what you learned as in life skills started when you were children, right? But I chose to take those life skills and make a career out of it. So back in the days when I look at it, even when I look at the photos, and this is what triggered the whole me becoming a speaker at this event, is that Zaid saw a photo of me I posted on Instagram, a little girl, I think I was 4 back then, sitting on a big chair at a wedding, dressed in a white dress, and I crossed my legs so properly and my hands on my legs posing for the camera. And when I look back at it, I'm like, oh, that's etiquette. That's actually what I teach people to do now, 35 years later. So back then, I still remember my mom telling us, before telling actually, showing us what to do and what not to do. Whether it was through dining, whether it was through how to greet people when they come to our place. The older I became, or the older I got, I started to become more stubborn. So the showing turned into telling. And until this day, I can hear my mom's voice telling me, Israa, lower your voice when you speak. I actually don't need the microphone, but I have to use it. Israa, sit properly, cross your legs, keep your legs together when they're crossed. Israa, don't eat man stuff with your hand, you're a girl. Don't imitate your brother and your dad. So all of that is actually etiquette. I used to think that mom tells us all of this, just, being a mom, telling us what to do, what not to do. She's the boss, we have to listen. Fast forward to 2014, I had a job. I felt indifferent about my job. It was 9-to-5 job, and I loved it as an environment. I enjoyed it. I loved going there, meeting my colleagues who became my friends. But when I remember what job I had, it was dull, it was boring, and I was literally dying every day because it's an office job. For me, I wanted something less cliche, something more entertaining, something more exciting, something more people-oriented. And I love to talk, so I might as well make money out of talking, right? And when I look back at it, I used to enjoy transferring knowledge. So as a teenager, I used to teach my neighbors, the children, French, because they used to learn French at school and then they don't get anything out of it because it's like half an hour, 45 minutes. Back home, I would teach them the French that I know. university days, I used to sit with my classmates and teach them accounting because basically I studied accounting in my bachelor's degree. Fast forward to 2014, I was bored with my career, and then I loved the idea of training, transferring knowledge, maybe teaching. I went to the training director at the university I used to work at, and I told her, Dr. Vidya, I need your help. I don't know what to do, I'm lost. So my story doesn't involve any cats or pets, but it involves a lost creature, basically. I was lost. I didn't know what to do, where I'm gonna go with this. I cannot do my 9 to 5 anymore. Mind you, I live in Sharjah and my job was in Dubai. So 9 to 5 was like more of a 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. basically. That's another thing that I was running away from. She started giving me those advices, career advice, what to do, what not to do, and then she's like, find your niche. English is not my first language. 10 years ago, I didn't know what the word niche means. Niche, N-I-C-H-E. I'm like, what do you find your niche? What's niche? And then I'm gonna find it. Tell me what niche is. And she said, find something that is so rare, so extraordinary, so specific. Because if you're gonna become a soft skills trainer, you're gonna join 10,000 people in Dubai or maybe more. I went back home to our best friend Google. Now my best friend is ChatGPT. So I went to Google and I'm like, what topics do I train? I looked up so many websites, so many articles, so many videos, and then I found nothing specific, no niche basically. And then a few weeks later, I went to the bookshelves that I have at home. I love reading and I keep the books that I read and I enjoy. I want to learn more from, I might go back to. And I had a book and I still have it. The title is The Etiquette book. I'm like, oh, I know this book. My brother got me this 5-6 years ago. It was a gift, super random. I went through it and I'm like, I remember it. And it's one of the books that I actually read from the very beginning to the very end. And you know what Marie Kondo, if you know her, say, sparks joy? When I held that book again, it sparked joy inside me. Like, do they teach this? Or is it just the kind of knowledge that you read in books and you apply? I went back to Mr. Google, and apparently there are schools in Europe. There's thousands of trainers in Europe and the States in that niche. In the UAE, it was an extreme niche, basically. There were less than 10 people who are certified. Like, I think I found my niche. And then from there, I'm not gonna take much long to tell you the story. From there, I went to courses in Dubai. I started learning here and there, and I started buying books like there is no tomorrow. Every book on Amazon that says the word etiquette, I'll buy it. Whether it's what I want or not, I don't know, I'm gonna read it. And I used to be that person where if I go out with my friends and I arrive early or they arrive late, I have a book and a notebook. I read and take notes. And from there, it all started to make sense. Going back to my mom and those instructions and those manners, I started linking what my mom actually taught me as a child to what I'm gonna make a career out of it. And then I traveled, I became certified, I went to London, I went to Brussels, I went to different schools, and I added to the etiquette the protocol side. So the protocol is the more serious, heavy stuff. And what I want to tell you from this short story, or why am I sharing it, for two things. One, if you don't like what you're doing, try to find something that you like. I'm not asking anyone to do any career shifts. Not everyone has to be an entrepreneur or a freelancer. We can all stay in place, it's okay. But if you want to do something on the side, find something that actually sparks joy. And you know what they say, if you love what you do, you don't have to work a day in your life. I still work. This doesn't make sense to me. You still have to work, actually. I love what I do, but I enjoy doing it. So find something that you enjoy. If you don't know what it is, think about what is one thing I'm willing to do even if it was for free. Are you willing to do it or not? Maybe that's it. Or if you were asked to talk about a topic for an hour, what is a topic that you enjoy talking about or doing for an hour to teach people? The other lesson I want to leave you with, or idea, even if you're not looking for a career shift or you don't like your job or whatsoever, think about etiquette and manners. So when I remember what my mom used to teach me, I figured out it wasn't only instructions. She wasn't only telling me what to do and what to do because she wants to boss around. No. She was actually conveying the message to tell me to think about how people feel before you act or speak. So if you see someone, think about your action and words, how my words and actions are going to make you feel. If you take that few seconds to think about that effect on others, believe me, you're applying etiquette. Protocol is another story. Those are rules that you have to follow whether you like it or not. But etiquette is all about how you make others feel. Whether it was someone you know, whether it was someone you don't know, how you greet them, how you... And the message that you convey, as I said earlier, how you're standing, what you're wearing, it's all the story that you're telling about yourself. So from now on, if you take that time to think about how you make others feel, you are actually reconsidering all your actions and words before you take them or you make them. Thank you so much.